Oh, Harley, wrong way. Don't go that way. Oh, nope, nope. Go this way. Almost there. You gotta get the ammo. Oh, there you go. Equal parts fun and frustrating, Carnival Massacre is a retro-looking survival horror game that draws inspiration from early Silent Hill and Resident Evil. Developed by Norbert Barani and published by Bedtime Stories, it was released on December 29th, 2025 on Steam.
17-year-old Harley Nielsen vanished without a trace. She left all her belongings at home and disappeared earlier today. Harley's younger sister, Chloe Nielsen, also went missing.
You play as Harley, a 17-year-old girl in search of her sister Chloe, who was last seen at a local amusement park called Pebbles Wonderland. It's a simple premise, and a girl in search of her little sister is compelling. The story is a bit wonky and defies logic, but hey, we're gamers. We're great at suspending disbelief. And since I think at least part of the story is in Harley's own mind, it makes sense. The ending was satisfying in that unsatisfying way good horror games accomplish. It was creepy, unexpected, and made me want to learn more if a sequel happens. But dude, let me skip the cutscenes. So for the fun stuff. Puzzles are simple and enjoyable to figure out. The solutions are usually tucked away in an area close to where you've discovered them. They're video gamey though. Finding a wheel to drain water isn't exactly original. A unique feature is a notebook that you can write puzzle clues in so you don't forget. It doesn't function very well because your writing ends up looking like you scribbled on a restaurant receipt, but it was a nice idea. And you saw in the intro what's frustrating, and it's the controls. You can choose between tank and modern, and there's full controller support, allegedly. Unfortunately, modern controls end up being an unholy mishmash with tank control mechanics. Walking in a circular arena seemed to confuse Harley, or me, maybe. And in boss fights, when you need to retreat to avoid things like ranged weaponry and AoE attacks, she'd sometimes walk right up to the enemy like she was just wanting to say hi. The game has good weapon variety despite being short, about 2 to 3 hours for an initial playthrough. All the weapons are ranged, and there's a camera that you can use to stun enemies who move past them if you've run out of ammo. Getting all the trophies pays off well because you can, spoiler alert, get an unlockable weapon that is just the best. A currency system is in place so you can buy ammo and healing items and so you can save. Yeah, you have to pay to save. It wasn't that cumbersome though, so I don't want to overstate it. The interface can lead to unintentionally saving, so keep that in mind, especially when you're going for your S class. Also, running out of ammo isn't really a problem because you find plenty while you're out exploring. You can't see how much currency you have on the inventory menu, which is a small oversight I think the dev could fix pretty easily if he wanted to. The inventory is limited, in keeping with traditional survival horror mechanics. And there are the magical item boxes we all love where you can store excess gear. Voice acting is real, not AI, so kudos to the dev. Unfortunately, it was poorly executed. Harley and Chloe sound weak and whiny, but thankfully they don't talk much. Not to be too spoilery, but you have a companion in the second half of the game. They don't do anything though. They don't help in combat, and they don't move the story forward that much. There's no reason for them to be there so early into the game, which I found confusing. The atmosphere is well crafted, with nostalgia galore in its retro aesthetics, and the setting within a carnival evokes childlike innocence. That pairs beautifully with the murderous situation Harley's in. The music adds even more depth, reminding you of the alluring sounds an amusement park can offer. Combat's on the easier side, but it feels satisfying. I did enjoy the boss fights, each with their own quirks that kept them unique and interesting. There is a fight where the laser for aiming doesn't line up quite right against a boss that can also shoot you, and that was nerve-wracking. Enemy variety isn't bad. They were inspired by Silent Hill, complete with an invincible enemy you can only run away from. The thing is, you can make him go away just by entering a room and coming back out. There were some bugs. The game completely crashed at least once, and it would get stuck when trying to quit, making me force quit. I play this game a lot on Steam Deck, and I concur with Valve's verified status. And for my scariness test, we asked the question, would you play it alone, in the dark, with headphones? Yes, this game isn't scary in the traditional sense, although the atmosphere does build up dread as you continue to play. Carnival Massacre is a rough around the edges experience, with good enemy and weapon variety, fun bosses, engaging combat, and a decent story. However, it's a bit too easy, has below average voice acting and unnecessarily frustrating controls. This isn't a bad entry in the retro-inspired survival horror space, but there are others that did it much better, like Crow Country and Heartworm. It's for these reasons why I award it a used chainsaw. As a horror game, it ticks the boxes. There's nothing really wrong with it when considering it as a horror gaming experience, but it also doesn't feel special. Carnival Massacre is solid, placing it in the B tier. What did you think about Carnival Massacre? I want to know. Be safe, check your closet and under your bed before you go to sleep, and I'll be back soon.